Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. To you I say Shalom. This is your brother Yeshaya coming at you again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Excuse me. The title of this video will be Endurance is Pivotal. Alright. And before I get this precept, I want to get this word for endurance in the Common Dictionary or in the Free Dictionary. And it says, excuse me, the word for endurance, it says, the fact or power of enduring an unpleasant or difficult process or situation without giving way, right? And this is exactly, the type of fight that we're battling, knowing that we're in the spiritual battle, in this spiritual warfare, right? This thing requires endurance, right? We know we're going to be in unpleasant situations. We know we're going to be tested, right? We're going to be tried by fire. Being tried by fire, it's not a light thing. It's going to test you to your limits, right? It's going to hurt. You're going to be in those uncomfortable and unpleasant situations and conditions. But, that's part of the battle, is for us to endure that, long suffer, endure that hardship, right? This is the condition of the battle, right? But it says, the fact or power of enduring an unpleasant or difficult process or situation without giving way. So without being swayed, right? Meaning having that foundation, that steady foundation, right? In this truth. And once you have that foundation set, hey, you're good. All you gotta do is constantly endure. Those you're gonna have, these hard waves. Just imagine yourself being this lighthouse, right? And you're right there on the edge. You're on the coast. You have these hard waves hitting that foundation, just hitting that rock, keep on hitting you. You got to be able to endure all that, right? But this all comes in, establishing, building that house on a sure foundation, which is Yahweh Shah, right? You can't be, one of these guys that builds their foundation on sand, or that builds their house on sand, right? You're going to be easily washed away. You build your house on anything that's besides, or you establish yourself in something that's besides Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, you're going to end up getting washed away whenever hardship comes. You ain't fully established, your foundation ain't fully set, you're going to get washed away. That's why it is important to, read the scriptures, study, right? The scriptures tell you to study to show thyself approved, right? And you gotta continue to, fight that battle, because you're gonna be tested. The scriptures talk about how he that turneth from evil making himself a prey, or if you also another one, it's in the book of I know it's in the Apocrypha, but it goes something along the lines of bear with me, Salakia. I had it at the tip of my tongue. I just lost it. But when thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, right? So these are things that we gotta, prepare ourselves for, prepare our minds for, prepare, our spirit for. And how do we prepare ourselves? Is by abiding in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, seeking the wisdom and understanding of the scriptures, because the scriptures gives us the certain guidelines and the rules and the equipment, the tools that we need to fight this battle, right? One of the major things, or two of the major things, is fasting and prayer. Fasting and prayer are key. They're powerful, high-powered tools uh, uh, to combat these spirits, combat these demons, combat, you know, the flesh, this weak nature that we have to still continue to put off, right? The ways of this world, right? Because best believe that Satan is constantly trying to sift brothers out. This world is constantly trying to bring you back in. But our job is to resist that, endure, right? Don't give in. All right. So with that, I want to get James 1 and verse 12. It says, "Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life." You see? So let me read this again. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation. So when you endure temptation, it means you resist it, right? You don't go along with it. You don't give in. You know, a good thing to do is to combat those thoughts with precepts, right? What did Yahushua do whenever he was tempted of Satan? You know, he combated him with the precepts, you know, with this truth. And that's how you can be able to rebuke those demons, right? You know, which is ultimately Satan, you know, trying to pull you back into the world, trying to, you know, disconnect you from the Lord. And as you know, once you get disconnected from the Lord, hey, you're susceptible to all manner of sin, wickedness, shit, even death, diseases, right? All those things come with neglecting the spirit, with pretty much giving in to the flesh, right? And transgressing the laws, right? Now, of course, we're in this grace period, but we can't use this grace period for the deeds of the flesh, right? But this is James, continuing on, James 1 and 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, right? And the ultimate temptation is going to be that, what we call the hour, or what the Bible calls the hour of temptation, right? Which is going to be when, first of all hell's going to be breaking loose. Jake's going to be catching all kinds of hell, right? You know, the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter, you know, 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, the 16th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's mainly the 15th chapter. You know, it goes into the things that and the events really that will be taking place here on earth, that's going to be used to try everybody here on the earth, right? Whom we know as, in the book of Jeremiah, it calls it the time of Jacob's trouble, right? But these are things that we're going to have to go through in order to receive the kingdom of heaven, right? These are the things that the Most High is going to set to take place here on earth, to pretty much weed out those who are not fit for the kingdom of heaven and those who are fit for the kingdom of heaven, right? But it says, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, right? And like I mentioned earlier, that our temptation is going to be the ultimate form of temptation, right? The time period where we're going to be persecuted. Some of us is going to be taken to these camps, concentration camps, right? And you're going to have to make a decision. Either you take the mark, the MOTB, the C-hip, right? Or you're going to die. Now we know not every brother is going to die, right? Not every believer is going to be, you know, put to the chopping block. But we understand through our minds, we're going to be tested. Some brothers are going to be out in the woods, in the wilderness, trying to survive, you know. Some of us, you know, the Most High is going to make it a way to where the elect are going to be fed and taken care of. But even then, you know, Satan's going to try to tempt you, try to put thoughts in your mind to be like, you know, take that C-hip, right? But we got to be able to endure all that, those thoughts, right? Those feelings, right? All this temptation is going to befall us in those times. Of course, we're going through it now. You know, right now we're going through these trials, you know, little tests, like practice tests, you know, to prepare us for those times that we're about to come into here soon, right? Because these times we're coming into is gonna come at the same time when America falls. So America is gonna be falling. You know, a lot of things is gonna be cut off. Supply chains, internet access, shit, probably even electrical access, right? Certain things that we're so used to living with and accustomed to, and in order for us to be comfortable, have this comfortable type of lifestyle, hey, all these things are going to be stripped away from us. And once all that is stripped away from us, as we see things getting tighter and tighter, hey, that's when that time period is going to start kicking in, when we're going to be tempted, we're going to be tested, right? But it says, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High. For the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. That's right. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away from his own lust and enticed. Then, when lust has conceived, it shall bring forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. You see, because as the scripture says, death, or the wages of sin is death, right? Roughly paraphrasing. So from here, let's get 1 Corinthians. Because like I said, brothers is going to be going through things. But like I mentioned earlier, we got tools that, was given to us. Fasting, right? Prayer. These are tools that we got to start using and start practicing and applying to our daily life. We're going through something, hey, put a prayer up. You think things is getting real tight, you don't know, how to handle it. Hey, put up some prayers. We got brothers, hey, take some counsel, right? But this is 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 13. It says, there hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. That's right. Now, of course, we haven't been tempted to that point where it's life and death, right? We haven't gone to that point yet. We understand that point is that ultimate test is coming, right? So let me read this again. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, that he will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. So the Most High is not going to put you in a situation that you're not going to be able to escape out of, right? You believe in the Lord, you have faith, as long as you have those things, you're putting up your prayers, you're doing your fasting, hey, the Most High is going to make a way for you to overcome those situations, overcome those tribulations, right? But it says, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. That's right. And the Most High is dealing. He's helping brothers out. Brothers going through certain situations. They got bills to pay. They're going through certain illnesses. They're losing their jobs. Whatever it is, right? Jake be going through. But Jake be catching hell. This is hell. Jake be going through it. But the Most High always takes care of his men. He always finds a way for us to be good, right? And we understand, in the book of Isaiah, it speaks about how, in the scriptures, roughly paraphrasing, it says, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. My servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty, right? So the Most High is always going to make a way for his men to eat, drink, and be good. They're going to be taken care of in that time, right? But that all comes by the way of us, continuing to endure and keeping our faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, right? But with all that, we need to continue to be locked in and establish that foundation in the Lord, right? And that comes with receiving the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures. The scriptures talk about how wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times, and strength and salvation. The fear of the Lord is His treasure. So the fear of the Lord is what's going to keep us in check. Is what's going to keep us in line. If you have the fear of the Lord, hey, if you truly have the fear of the Lord, we understand that you're going to be doing the will of the Lord, right? You're going to be, reading up this book, eating this whole roll, right? So let me continue on. Let's get Matthew, because like I mentioned earlier, this is a thing of endurance, right? This is a marathon. This ain't no 100-yard sprint. This ain't no 3-round fight. This is a 12-round fight, a 15-round fight, which requires a lot of stamina, which requires you to go through all that hardship. You might be exhausted at the end. The scriptures talk about how the elect shall scarcely make it, right? The elect will scarcely make it, man. So if the elect gonna barely make it, just think about a 12-round fight, right? Boxers are exhausted. You got the champion, right? The world champion over here just, struggling, barely trying to defeat his opponent, right? So he can retain that belt. He's barely, this is the fight of pretty much the fight of his life, right? And by the end of the fight, man, he's exhausted. He's tired, man. He's ready just to, he's in his mind, he's battling in the inner thoughts of whether he should throw in the towel or not. But that's whenever that dog has to come out of you to push through it, right? Because we're gonna have them thoughts, man. We're gonna have them thoughts to give in, to give up. But hey, that's whenever you guys gird up your loins like a man and really go all the way, man. Give it that last ounce of energy in it, man. Because that last ounce of energy could make the difference between being part of the elect or being part of 2/3. So we gotta give it our all, right? So again, this is a thing of endurance, man. This is a thing of endurance. But this is Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Right? You gotta endure to the end. We're gonna have to endure all that hardship and tribulations that's gonna befall the earth. That's the only way we're gonna be able to be saved, to overcome. Right? And as a matter of fact, something that came to my mind is 2nd Ezra. I believe it's 7 if I'm not mistaken. Or 6, actually. Let me pull it up right here. 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Bear with me, let me see if I can find it. Might actually be 7. Yeah, I think it's 7. Right here. This is 2nd Ezra 7 and verse 3. It says, it says, and I said, speak on, O my power. Then he said unto me, the sea is set in a wide place that it might be deep and great, but put the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? So this is going to the point right here, verse 6. It says, there is another thing. A city is builded, which is representative of the kingdom, right? And is set in a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. So the fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water is representative of you know, pretty much of death, of the dangers, right? If you're not walking in that where some brothers like to refer to that path as being like a tightrope. If you ain't careful on that tightrope, you can fall on either side, and it can ultimately be to your doom, right? And that's essentially how this walk is. It's a long path, and you got to be careful. You got to be circumspect. You got to be prudent in your walk, in your steps. If you ain't taking heed to how you're walking, how you're moving, you can easily, fall off the edge, and that's it for you. But at the same time, this thing is a long path, man. You gotta walk through that narrow, man, right? That straight gate, as it says in the book of Matthew, right? This is a straight gate. Straight gate meaning a position of difficulty, right? A very narrow path, right? And when you think about a narrow path, there's no wiggle room. You gotta make it through it very, very, carefully. You gotta navigate through that. Just think about a road, right? You over here on the edge of a mountain, and there's a road that you're barely able to fit your car through it. You gotta be careful, man. If you ain't careful, that's your ass. That's it, right? And sometimes, them paths might feel like forever. It might feel like, damn, I'm never gonna make it. I'm never gonna make it to the end. How long is this gonna last? But that's essentially how this walk is. It might feel like it's taking forever, but hey, just think about it, man. Yahweh Shah had to endure, go through all the things that he did, you know, and he's up there right now, patiently waiting to come back and get his vengeance upon what they did to him and what they're doing to his people. So imagine the long suffering that he's going through. And we, this little short lifespan that we live, man, ain't shit. Right? So we owe it to the Lord. We owe it to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah to endure. Right? But verse 7, it says, the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand side and on the left a deep water, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If the city were given unto a man for an inheritance, because this is our inheritance, right? The kingdom of heaven is our inheritance, right? This is Yahweh Shah's kingdom. And he says that he's going to make us joint heirs in that kingdom, right? So that's our inheritance, given unto us by Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. But it says, if he never passed the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? So if we don't pass through this hard and difficult path, how else are we going to receive the kingdom of heaven, right? Verse 10, it says, and I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. Right? So that's pretty much the point, right? So now from here, let's get Romans chapter 8 and verse 35. I wasn't trying to make this long, trying to make this kind of short, but it is what it is. The Spirit had me, have this go how it's going. But anyway, this is Romans 8 and verse 35. It says, who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation or distress, or persecution or famine, or nakedness or peril, or sword? So this is a question that's being posed, right? What's going to stop us, right? What's going to separate us from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah? All these things, tribulation, right? Distress, persecution, famine, nakedness, peril, sword. Because these are things that's gonna happen to the man of the Lord, right? These are things that we're gonna be dealing with, we're gonna be going through. But we shouldn't allow these things to stop us from believing in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. These things should not break our faith, right? These things shouldn't allow us to give up and give in, and be like, oh well, fuck it, I'm tired of suffering. I'm just gonna go to Esau and receive this little bit of comfort, because we know that with Esau, everything has everything has strings attached. With Esau, ain't nothing just given, right? So, and in either ways, this world is gonna end regardless. Esau's kingdom is done and over with. It's just a matter of time. So, and the scriptures talk about how if you be joined unto them, that pretty much you're gonna be killed by the sword, ultimately by them ICBM missiles, which is the ultimate form of the sword. A lot of Jake is gonna be catching hell and really gonna be put to death by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, through these various plagues and events that's going to be taking place here in America or even around the world, right? All these sellouts, all these Jakes who are chasing the bag, chasing these women, pretty much just into the ways of the world, thinking carnally, still caught up in the weak nature. Hey, they're gonna be through out here. They ain't gonna have that comfort like we're gonna have. They ain't gonna be protected like we're gonna be protected. They ain't gonna be taken care of like how we gonna be taken care of, right? They're gonna be given up to their own devices, right? To their own thoughts, and those thoughts is gonna lead them to destruction. All these things, you can read it in. Let me get it real quick. In Ecclesiastes, I mean not Ecclesiastes, Sirach. Let me get it. Sirach 40 and verse 8, it says, such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners, death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. Right? So all these things, right? These things were created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. You see, so these things were created, and these things are going to befall the earth, and all these things are sent upon the earth to destroy 2/3 of our nation. All right, this is going to be their punishment. All right, but continuing on in Romans 8 and verse 36, it says, as it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long, we are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High, which is in Hamashiach Yahushua, our Lord. See? So we got to have that mindset, that nothing's going to stop us. Nothing's going to prevent us. All right? That we're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to push on. Ain't nothing going to hold us back. Nothing is powerful enough to stop us from receiving that crown, ultimately. Right? From receiving the love of Yahweh and Yahushua. So that on his return, he will crown us. And view us as those good servants. Right? Call us sons. Which is ultimately what that's what we're looking for, man. That's what we desire. Fuck all the accolades here on earth. Fuck all the clout that can be offered here in Esau's fucking backward ass society. We want the accolades of the Lord, man. We want the Lord to recognize us. Best believe he does recognize us. But all we gotta do is continue to endure, man, so we can receive them crowns, so we can be delivered, right? And ultimately, enjoy the kingdom of heaven to eternity, right? Those works that we put in, all the tribulation, the hardship that we endure, is nothing compared to what the kingdom of heaven has to offer, right? Just comparing them to, it's well, our suffering is light. As a matter of fact, it's a precept on that, a light affliction, right here. 2 Corinthians 4:17. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, because that's what it is. It's short. In the grand scheme of things, this is a short life. you know, Back then in the ancient times, people lived for hundreds and hundreds of years, up to 900 years old, even more, close to 1,000, right? And we understand that 1,000 years with the Lord is as one day. It's one day to the Lord. 1,000 to us, 1,000 years, or 1,000 years in our lifetime is just one day to the Lord, right? So it's nothing. And we're going to be able to enjoy the kingdom of heaven and everything that it has to offer for eternity, being kings, rulers, right? Princes, This is what the kingdom of heaven has to offer for us. So, this little light affliction that we're going through is nothing. It's nothing, man. And at the end of the day, we ain't even gonna remember it. It's gonna be like a little nightmare that we had, right? There's a precept that says, let me get it real quick. As a matter of fact, let me finish this out first, and I'll get that. This is 2 Corinthians. Well, actually, I'll come back to this. Salaki, I'll come back to this. It's in the time of prosperity. Let me see if it comes up. Hold on. I don't know where it's at. Bear with me. I think it's in Proverbs. Or it could be Psalms. Yeah. Hold on. Right here, Sirach. Sirach 11 and verse 25, it says, in the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction, right? And so in the kingdom of heaven and not prosperity, we're going to forget all the afflictions that we endured in this time. All this hell, all the shit that we're going through, this brothers going through, family troubles, baby mama drama, uh, 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 not being able to pay, make ends meet on your bills, going through certain afflictions, in the flesh, what's it called, ailments, right? All those things, we're not even going to be, we're not even going to remember it. We're going to forget all about that because we're going to be in our prosperity at that time. We're going to be living it up for real, right? And it says, in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity. So let me go back. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, in verse 17, it says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So this light affliction, man, hey, this is, the affliction that we're going to be going through is light. Like I said, it's light compared to what we're going to receive in the kingdom. You can't really compare it. You can't compare the two, right? So this investment that we're putting in, because that's what it is, an investment. We're storing up treasures in heaven. We're putting this work so that way we can uh, uh, continue to reap from our works all the way, and this is going to carry out all the way to eternity. The works that we put in now is going to carry forth all the way to eternity. Brothers are going to be having books written about them. The elect are going to be remembered. They're going to be talked about. They're going to be famous. They're going to be kings, rulers, man. Right? This is why it's important to continue to endure, because you got to understand what's in store for us, man. The reward that we're going to receive, right? But that's all I had. I pray this lesson was edifying. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Until next time, I'm going to say, Shalom.